Hi, everyone. Welcome to our second episode. And I'm going to explain why I'm talking in English. So, we want this podcast to be a multicultural experience. The problem that we are talking about in this podcast is a worldwide problem that needs a solution. And we want to give the opportunity to many people in the world to listen and take these measures that we're going to discover through the journey. So, without more saying, leave you with my friend Lucia.
Yes, exactly. As Sophie said, we want this to be a multicultural podcast. This is the reason why we are talking in English. And well, welcome to our chapter number 2 of podcast. Let's talk about water. This podcast is conformed by Carlota Barrios, Mauricio Villalobos, Maria Sofia, Ricardo Dominguez, and Luciana Valdez. And today we have a really special guest, Adriana Torroya, who is a student from Campus Querétaro from our same school. Adriana, welcome. We are glad that you're here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
And well, as usual in this podcast, we would like to start everything with a question. And this time is for you, Adriana. I would like to ask, what would be like the first and most important thing you would like for us to know about the current state of water within your state?
Well, the situation we live as citizens is terrible. So Querétaro has become one of the most common states for people to be searching to live. And the population growth of the state, with the high demand of water for agricultural activities and residential settlements, has been awful. Like there's barely enough water for all of us.
Terrible. Yes, I've seen in news that right now, Querétaro is having a really tough time. And yes, I think that this is a consequence also that a lot of people is moving to Querétaro and searching a better life.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about water here in Morelos. So I've been reading some documents and I've seen that we are in a very critical situation, because we're wasting a lot of the water we're extracting from underground, and we're wasting it. By this I mean that we are using it in a very bad way. Um, we are contaminating the clean water with dirty water, so we're just running low.
Yes, exactly. I also read that in Cuernavaca, only 16% of the water extracted per year is clean. This is terrible. And well, the drainage network is 50% smaller than the water network. This is also a terrible fact that made me think about how wrong is everything, and also make me think how between Querétaro and Cuernavaca, water situation is terrible, and not for the same reasons, but yes, we have in common that both of the states have a very bad situation.
Well, I think that's right. As you said it, I think the situation is within the whole country. There are several states that have water problems, but this is something really interesting. Not all of them are because of the same problem. What do you think? Well, all of you, what do y'all think that could be like the main problem here, either in Cuernavaca or in Querétaro or anywhere else?
I think one of the main reasons for the water problems might be the location of each state, maybe, because in some states it's the temperature is hotter, so that can and in some drying some environment, natural environments, what do you think, Mao, about the location and the environment being a problem for our current situation of water?
No, yeah, that's true. That's actually true. You have. Oh, I thought exactly the same. I think geographic location is really important. Talking about how water management is done. Yeah. Anyone else wants to share?
Well, here in Querétaro, a high percentage of the water is used in the metropolitan zone. and it comes from the Querétaro Valley Aquifer, which is overexploited here, as well as the weather. I think the weather here is very dry.
Yes, well, also, well, in the other hand, in Cuernavaca, the city does not have the essential infrastructure. That I also think that's like a huge problem because not having an essential infrastructure for sewage treatment, it's a terrible problem. And well, cleanup of the remnants of Cuernavaca by stopping the drainage, these charges they receive will be a really great idea.
I
Yeah,
want to say something. I'm sorry, Kat. I want to say something that Luciana said. I think that one of the reasons is the lack of budget we have in the government, like given to this problem, the infrastructure given by the companies that produce water. In fact, in 2012, here in Morelos, SAPAC began with a giant debt to the government and to all financial institutions because the infrastructure was not how do you say it, it was not great enough to complete the task it was supposed to do.
yeah. Going back a little bit to what Richie said about how the location affects water. I've been researching, and there's actually a lot of people that water doesn't get to their houses because they either live like in very steep hills or something like that. So they don't have water and they have to pay and order water tanks to fill up their water in their houses and be able to shower, brush their teeth, everything. So I think that's crazy that people are having to order water. Adriana, do you think this happens where you live?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes, I've been seeing that in Querétaro, a lot of parts. Well, how can I say it? A lot of colonies have been affected, and people is like really tired about this. And also, I remember when I visited Adriana, the water was it was strange. It was different from Cuernavaca. I don't know why, but it was different. And I remember you told me, Adriana, that it was also a consequence of the treatment it receives because of the percentage of water that it's available.
Fun fact, actually, no cap. Here in Morelos, we have 10 rivers and 3 lakes. The 3 lakes involve Tequesquitengo, Coatetelco, and El Rodeo. Adriana, do you know any information about like water bodies on your state by any chance?
Honestly, no. I'm sorry.
Well, I've been investigating, and actually, well, I read that the colonies that will register damages to their service are there in Querétaro are Morelos, El Paraíso, Revolución, Loma Bonita, el Romerilla, Miguel Hidalgo, Real de la Loma, Villas de San Miguel, and others. And I think that this is why people is getting mad about the situation and why are they tired. And also, I remember Adriana told me once that people is well, the government is actually searching a way to connect like like the um, the how do you say how the pipelines are in English is the pipelines with other states to have more water. And yes, they're searching for help for the with the other states.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was also reading something about that. And all throughout Mexico, we have like water shortage problems because of the over exploitation of aquifers. So I think that's crazy. Like, since we're extracting water so much, there are being leaks, water is getting contaminated, and that's why we're getting a lack of water here.
Well, actually, going back to what Lucy said, and well, actually, about what everyone is talking about, which is like the lakes, rivers, water bodies in general. Do you think that maybe we could be making a better usage out of the lakes we have? Because we have been mentioning several lakes everywhere, and we think we're not doing anything to take advantage of them, while at the same time, I don't know, keep them going the way they are. What do you think about this? Do you think we could do better use of the lakes and take better care of them at the same time?
I think the part that you mentioned of taking care of the rivers, it's very important. I think that the main reason we can't use these rivers like in a good way for water, like obtaining water from them, it's because of the pollution. They are very polluted, and many of the industry um, pollution, the things that the machinery and all the companies make and goes in the rivers damage the water, in like making it hard for us to use in a suitable way.
Yeah, but answering Mao's question, do we think we can enjoy the water bodies and still be able to extract water? I think we can. I feel like now in 2022, we have so much technology and so many sustainable things that we can replace. For example, fuels that don't hurt the water. And honestly, we have a lot of technology. So I think we could invent something that we could still enjoy our water bodies, but still take care of them.
Yes, exactly. And is what we've been talking about. Like we really need to change the way we live and the things we do with the water, because everything has an impact, and if it doesn't have a visual impact, it will have an impact in the future, you know. Sometimes we don't visualize it because we don't have close all those body well, all those lakes and everything where water is, but the consequence will exist in the future or some days later, you know. If you throw a bottle in the streets, that bottle will go with the rain to the lakes, you know, and we will have a consequence in the future. So we need to pay more attention on it. And as we've been seeing in Querétaro and in Cuernavaca, the problems are totally, well, they are not really alike. And but it's really sad that we are having problems with different causes, and but they're really affecting us, and in the future will be terrible.
Yeah, also a thing that we were talking about on the last chapter, it's like the creativity of the human being to get to new ideas on how to get like on how to save our water bodies, you know, and water in general. Here in Morelos, we were talking about that we have trying to be implementing like this system where you press the button and then the water comes down like the exact amount of water, so you don't like over waste it, because when you're like washing your hands or something like that, like we tend to overextend with the water, and we're not like getting like the most of it, like the most of the amount that we're using, you know. Like, is there anything in your campus, Adriana, that you would like to share that they're doing to help with the body with the water situation?
Well, yeah, I mean, my campus is also doing that faucet thing, the automatic one. And there's also like, I don't know the word in English, but like the bebederos, like they're also automatic for the same problem, because we also tend to overuse the bebederos.
And also I think that that's the reason why Well, no, that's not the reason. I think that also has an impact, well, in the bottles, in the plastic bottles. I think that it's also related with that. Like an example is I've seen that Carlota uses her own bottle. I also use my own bottle. And I think that also that has a really good impact, you know, how many students are we in the campus and how many of us really use that thing now instead of buying a plastic bottle every day. So I think that it has a double impact, a really double positive impact. And what also I want to mention that going back with the crisis, the water crisis, I've been searching and I found out that by 2021 there will be already a water crisis in metropolitan area, right, Adriana? I think that in Querétaro.
Yeah, the CEA has been warning the state of Querétaro since like 2017 that the water will eventually run out, but people have just been like pushing it back, like, oh, it's too far away, it's too far away. But like now it is running out.
Yes, I've been
What
saying.
is so crazy is that the water where you live is running out, and here in Morelos, one of the biggest problems we have is that through the pipeline the water goes, there's holes. We would call them fugas, which are leaks. And this is wasting so much water. So it's crazy that you're needing water and we are literally throwing water in the floor because it's leaking out of the pipes due to the bad infrastructure. So I think that's crazy.
Yes, exactly. As Carlota said, I would like to mention. Well, I would like to ask Richie about this this thing that we've been reading, the datos curiosos, and that this section that we have a really special section that I know that you like. Everyone that listen us, I know that you like our section of datos curiosos. So, Richie, would you like to share something with us? Fun facts.
Sure. Sure. As the fun fact, like for right now, the water regulates the Earth temperature and like also affecting like the water bodies that like maybe the oceans, rivers, lakes, and that. Like if we don't let them like work at their own pace, what we're provoking, it's like just heating our world, you know, and our planet, and we're not doing anything like at all to help that. And I want you to I want Mao like to give us some information of Cuernavaca's rivers.
Okay, that was a really direct question. I don't have much information about Cuernavaca's rivers because don't have much knowledge about how are we geographically, but I have a theory. Listen to this. I think that this could be kind of a loop where you see, you said that when water keeps the temperature on Earth like the same way. If the Earth gets hotter, then there will be less water. And with less water, Earth gets hotter. Do you think that there will be a point in time where Earth gets so hot that there's no water left at all?
As another fun fact, as another fun fact, there is the same amount of water on the Earth as there was when Earth was formed. Because like water has the three states of matter, which is solid, liquid, and gas. So if we don't have it like right now, like the water in its liquid form, we have it like as clouds or something like that, you know? I think like just the cycle repeats over and over again. But
Of
I don't know
course.
what the rest thinks.
Of course. And also what Mao is saying, I think that we're right now we are in a situation like in a world situation that everything is possible. You know, last year with the pandemic and things that we don't even imagine that could happen again. So I think that everything is possible. And as we've been seeing with temperatures are a clearly example of how the world is trying to defend itself about everything that we do. And yes, of course, I think that we will be in a point where we don't have more water. And actually, we've been losing a lot of land areas, animals because of the water. So I think that yes, now everything is possible. I kind of feel really sad about it because we're not actually taking action, but everything is possible. Clearly, it could be possible.
I agree with you, Lou. If we set our mind to it, we can literally achieve and save our water.
Exactly. And it's that I think that like seeing Querétaro situation and Cuernavaca situation, I think that there are a lot of things that we can do, take care of the water. It's essential to understand that we must take water as a natural resource. We can report water lakes, store the water you need, take advantage of other sources of supply, caring out of the environment in general. So yes, I think that we can start to take action in both states, and we will make it. And as yesterday I mentioned, we are a generation of change. We're totally a generation that received environmental education, that received information from internet, that received information from social media. So yes, we're able to try to change.
Yeah, that's right. And as you said, we are the ones that are in charge of making a change. But let's think about something. I may not have information about the rivers in Cuernavaca, but I investigated a thing, and it says that up to 340% of water pollution comes from the factories and the industries. What can we do to, like, I don't know, make the contrary effect that all of this industry does? And us by ourselves, like by joining forces with, I don't know, our neighbors, our whole municipality, anyone, what could we do in order to, yeah, make the contrary effect that industry does?
Well, I think that right now is a clearly acceptable that we can join with everyone from other campus. That it's like uh that well is the easiest way like for me to start talking with my friends from other campus and join, even create a group focus on that and try to change, and everyone in its own campus to invite people to be part of the change. And yes, I think that we could join with other students and try to make a change.
I think that's super great. We could bring more awareness to this topic, Lucy, and I totally agree with you.
And well, thank you. Well, I want to thank you first, Adriana, for your time. I know that Querétaro has been living a really tough moment with water, and we will invite you to follow us in our podcast. And I don't know if you want to mention something. We know that obviously you will not know everything about it because also, um, well, you as Querétaro's citizens every day learn the new information and everything is changing every day. But I don't know if you want to say something.
Well, yeah, I mean, this water situation is affecting like a lot of states in Mexico. And I want to thank you for inviting me so we could talk about awareness about this topic. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Adriana, for being here. We hope you guys like this week's podcast and make sure to follow us on our podcast. We thank you so much. And yeah.
Yes, that was it. Thank you. Bye.